Obviously, you're right about the Nuggets. They are in town tonight. TNT game.
We get to hear what Barkley and the guys think. Shaq roots for Steph and the Warriors, but we're going to get wrong. We know what Barkley thinks. Bob, you left the gun off the Titanic.
Fried.
Yeah, that's what he's going to say.
They're cooked.
If they can somehow win this game tonight and be 500, I'll just be feeling better coming in here tomorrow when I see you.
That's fair. That's fair. I was waiting for an over. I thought you were going to say, you get to 17-17, and then, we can win this thing. And I was going to say easy. But you said you get to 17-17, I come in tomorrow feeling better.
Yeah.
It's like, I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what happened. Yesterday, Willard and Dibbs were talking to Steve Kerr, and Draymond Green has 10 games into a suspension. No real news yet. It's an indefinite suspension. So, Steve, it starts off with a question from Mark Willard about Draymond Green. Take a listen, everybody.
Coach, this will be no surprise to you. The pregame comments about Draymond Green getting some space from you guys and you guys getting some space from him have led to a lot of commentary and questions with the Warrior fan base and our listeners today. Can I start by asking, going into this whole thing, the thought process from the fan base, an assumption, which clearly was not right, was that he was going to practice and be around the team. Can I ask why is he not?
Well, I think the thinking when he got suspended was this was not a sprained ankle, right? This was not an injury. This is, I think, without going into specifics, I think it was generally understood that he needed to work on some things. And so I think when you look at it in that lens, it's understandable that work would be away from the team. And he's been working out, so he's still training and keeping himself in shape. But, we took this very seriously in terms of his, what's happened over the last year, the anger management stuff. Again, this is not just let's, ice your ankle every day until it gets better. That's a different deal. And I think, Draymond has needed the space to be away in order to work on that.
You mentioned yesterday in your pregame comments that there hasn't been a ton of back and forth conversation with Draymond. Have you gotten a sense as to where he is in his treatment or in his process, shall we say, as it pertains to when he might be able to come back and start resuming some activity with the team?
Well, he's in good spirits. We've been texting, and he's doing great. The league has to decide when they're going to lift the suspension, and I don't know when that will be. Frankly, for me, I've got enough to think about and worry about each day, preparing game plans, getting ready for the next opponent. So I'm not even thinking about it until the league lifts the suspension, and we'll just keep carrying on with our work.
Are they in contact with you on that? Like, do you get any guidance at all about a timeline?
Mike Dunleavy is kind of handling that, and they're going through their process and protocol with Draymond and with Mike. So they're dealing with that. I'm coaching the team, so it's nothing to report at this point.
Yeah, is there? Is there a chance this goes way longer than anyone was thinking? Is there a chance that Draymond's not going to be back this year?
I don't know that there was ever any timeline given. When someone is suspended indefinitely, that just means they're suspended indefinitely. There was never a time frame given, and so we're just going along with the process. And as I said, I'm busy with the team, and Draymond's working on his stuff, and the league will work with us, and we'll see where it all goes.
Has this changed the organizational feelings about Draymond Green in any way? I know there's disappointment and frustration in the frequency of incidents, but in a more general global sense, has this changed or soured the relationship between the two at all?
No. I mean, we have so much history. Draymond and I, this is 10 years for us since we've been together. And as far as the organization, with, Joe Lacob and Draymond have been together 12 years now. We've been through so much together, ups and downs, and we love Draymond, and it's a great relationship. Obviously, what's happened over the last year, it has been disappointing. And we are really counting on Draymond, to make some strides with this stuff, and we're confident that he will be able to, and that he'll be able to come back and play at a high level.
Steve Kerr with us on Willard and Dibs. Coach, I'm mindful of a couple of things that you've said to us, even in recent weeks. I can remember at the start of the year, you really like this roster. You've also said even today, right now, this is who we are. And Mike Dunleavy said that, by about mid-January, it would be time to start assessing things. Do you still feel the same way about the roster, and what is the potential openness to adjustments in the next 5 weeks?
Yeah, I do still feel the same way. And I think we are going to be better. I think what's been tricky is just between the suspensions and then some of the struggles early on for Wiggs and Clay. We just haven't hit our stride. We haven't had that couple of weeks where everybody kind of started playing well together and found a rhythm and found rotations and so it's been a mixed bag for sure, but I still believe, I think that both Clay and Wiggs have played way better here the last couple of weeks. I think it's in us to be a really good team. I believe that. And that's, my job as coach is to keep us moving forward through all the choppy waters and get to that point where we can hit our stride and play our best.
All right, that was from yesterday's Willard and Dibs show. That was Steve Kerr, coach of the Golden State Warriors. There's plenty more to that interview. If you want to hear it all, just go to the Odyssey app, and you can listen to all 20 minutes so of that. That was just the 5 minutes pertaining to Draymond Green. 888-957-9570. What's your takeaway from that? What's your takeaway? I mean, it was all about Draymond Green, where he is, where Kerr is, where the team's at. What do you think you're supposed to take out of what Steve Kerr said about Draymond Green? Go.
My first thing is, I honestly don't think he's playing basketball anytime soon. And I came in yesterday and I changed what I had initially thought about this, because unless there's a trade, Draymond Green is needed for this team to reach the heights, make the playoffs, and make some noise. That's just how I feel, and make Steph Curry's job, which I used to just fight you ad nauseum about, that I hated that he got credit for making the game easier for Steph. But I see Steph working harder now, and I don't like it because he could wear down without Draymond. But the fact that at the end of that, he did say, Coach Kerr, hopefully Draymond will come back and be better for this, basically. So that tells me, you know what, Steiny, he won't be in another uniform before he's up out of here. I could be wrong, but that's what I took. And I do like the fact that there is distance right now, because a punishment should never be rosy. He's not there. I don't think going to LeBron James, and you didn't ask, birthday party was a good look. Just me, even if I wanted to go, because I need to be working on myself and doing a checklist. That's neither here nor there. I was listening to Devontae and Shasky. There are reports that he's dropping a podcast maybe next week, early next week. I would just, and nobody's asking for this advice, I would tell Draymond just what we do on this show. Take a play off. There's nothing you could say, I believe, that will help you, endure you from the fans. The fans are... Dude, just kill him with silence right now. So my biggest takeaway, he's not coming back anytime soon. And to be honest, partner, I don't like that as the Warriors embark on tonight's game, one game under 500.
Warriors are 16-17, defending NBA champions in town tonight, Denver Nuggets. Warriors, they're in a little bit of disarray. There's just no doubt about it right now. And let me throw another date at Warrior fans. February 8th. That's when the trade deadline is. It's about a month away. A month. The two things I took away from the Steve Kerr part about Draymond Green, one is I don't think this is close to over either. I mean,
now, when you say over, the suspension.
Yeah. I mean, we're at game 10 right now. I mean, I don't think he's playing in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. I would
sure doesn't sound that way. It also sounds to me like there's two things going on. One is the Warriors are just saying, hey, it's the league's call. It's indefinite. We just told them to hit the pike during the suspension, but when the suspension's lifted, then that's going to be what's interesting. Because I said something earlier and some people disagreed. I said, well, let's just say hypothetically he gets, and I didn't look at the schedule, but let's say hypothetically they say the suspension's over on January 15th. I said, I don't think that means if the Warriors have a game on January 16th, Draymond's playing. And some people said, what? Really? I said, no. I'm not saying he won't play, but I think there's two levels to this. There's the NBA will lift the suspension, and then it's, well, what are the Warriors going to do?
Well, they need him on the court.
Do they? See, because what I heard Steve Kerr talking about, too, is, number two, Steve Kerr is out of the Draymond Green business at this point.
Yeah, he's got other fires to tend to.
He's just not interested. When Draymond Green comes back, he'll figure it out. And see, I think there is where you got to really peel a layer or two off. Because I think Steve Kerr's sending that message, not just to the fans, but he's sending it to the players in the locker room. I think he's telling Podziemski and Curry and Clay and Wiggins, you know what? Dre ain't coming back. At least not now, so we can't worry about it. And I think that may be a message to the team that we're moving on. Doesn't mean permanently.
Yeah.
Means we're just moving on right now and stop asking me about Draymond. Go ask Mike. Go ask Mike Dunleavy. There's something with Steve Kerr where he's done with Draymond Green, at least for now, and having to answer to him, not to him, answer questions about. He's just so annoyed. You can tell.
You know what? I appreciate that assessment, and it has me thinking, if I'm Mike Dunleavy, and we don't know Steve Kerr's future, right? Because it is technically right now up in the air. But let's be proactive. If Mike knows that something's going to get done and Kerr is going to be the coach of this team for the foreseeable future, that would mean something to me that my coach is done with said player. So in this instance, that would lead me to a conversation that probably is going to be had with Lakeup and Mike and Coach Kerr about, okay, is there life without Draymond? And you got me to thinking about something yesterday as I drove home in the caddy, thinking about, I thought Draymond Green would be a good soldier and take his punishment in this whole scenario. Now I'm starting to think the Draymond Green I know, and I'm not being messy, this dude's a prideful guy, he's passionate, and he's going to tell you how he feels. But, Steiny, I'm starting to think what you brought up and alluded to yesterday, if there's some venom on his part about the Warriors kind of maybe not standing up for him or not standing up enough for him to the league enough. And if I'm Draymond, if I'm his barber, Brownie Blends, his friend, and I hear my coach say, we need a break from me, the way that Kerr was so honest yesterday, partner, I'm telling you that would rub me the wrong way. And we come in before we start our show, now he may talk in Draymond into a microphone next week, and I feel like the incentive, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like now he feels like, you know what, that wasn't cool. I have something to say, and I'm going to say it in the incoming days.
I want to say this. I don't care what Draymond has to say in a way.
Yeah. But you know what everybody else does.
So what's he going to say? I'm pissed at the Warriors. They didn't have my back. He'll get laughed off the NBA stage.
But you can say things without saying them. Okay. You know what I mean? And Kerr may have done that.
Maybe let's give him the opportunity to be contrite. Maybe
or
Draymond.
how about just pass on the podcast?
Okay.
Like, what can you see? You're in the corner right now. You're in timeout. It's okay.
What you can say is in the last month, I've learned a lot. I got a lot of things to work on. It's going to take a lot of time, but I've started.
That would be great.
Yeah, well, I think that's within the realm of possibility. 888-957-9570 is the number. We just listened to Steve Kerr talking about Draymond Green, and just from a practical standpoint, that's actually, when I listened to that interview, I mostly thought about basketball. So what I thought was, okay, after hearing Steve Kerr, to me, it just invites the question, so how long will it be till he comes back? And what do you guys think? Do you guys think Draymond Green could theoretically be back in a week? Evan, I'm going to put you on the spot. Could Draymond be back in a week? He's going to miss 3 more games. It'll be 13 total. He'll be back in a week or two. Week. No, week.
No.
2 weeks.
Potentially by the next homestand, but definitely not before this 4-game roadie they got coming up.
Do you know offhand what date 2 weeks? Okay.
Well, they're backing on to play the Lakers on the 27th.
27th.
We're going to
that's
that
a part
one.
of the homestand, but I think they have a couple home games before that, so it'd be like around the 20th.
Okay. So that would essentially be another 3 weeks, which would make it a 6-week total. Like, I could see that. The problem is
January 19th is the beginning of that homestand.
Okay, so January 19th, let's say.
2 weeks.
Like, to me, that's the fastest it's going to be. Do you think it could be faster?
No,
I don't know. I think we're all just guessing.
I'm going longer.
Longer
and
than
I'm not, no doubt. This is, like Steve Kerr says, the league handles that. And it's quiet on the set right now.
Well, as far as we know, we don't know. I mean, there may be action on the set. For all we know, Draymond Green is 85% finished with passing his test.
But what if they gave him a number that they haven't shared the league and it's 25 games?
Okay.
Then how long? Now we're talking February, mid-February, or even after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then you got the trading deadline before. Like, will he be back before the trading deadline?